Yeah, it was cracking. You already know what it is, right? So just have a look at this, and then I'll double back.
Baby should be stateless.
For all intents and purposes, I'm a benefactor of birthright citizenship. My mother is an immigrant. She was not a United States citizen when she had me. She was a permanent resident. However, I am a benefactor of birthright citizenship. And people can say that, oh, he's just talking about undocumented people. And it's like, until when? Until what? Until when I say the wrong thing or somebody does the wrong thing, and then it's like, okay, yeah, it's only people who have one parent that was born here, and then it's people who have to have both parents that was born here. Paving the way to get rid of birthright citizenship is wrong, and it will pave the way for other atrocities that will continue to happen to many people unfairly and unjustly. And I will continue to speak out on it, and you can't tell me that it's politics and that I should stay out of politics because I talk about loneliness. This is my day-to-day life. I had a woman sitting in front of me yesterday who had come here legally with the proper documentation, but they are still taking those people as well. And she sat in front of me and she was crying, and the thing that she kept saying to me was, if I have to go back, then just send me back to my country then. The fear that she has, which she shouldn't have to be afraid to be sent back anywhere. She's here under legal pretenses and working through the process correctly, but they don't care. This is about racism. Why do you think they're stopping brown bodies on the street?
All right. So yeah, we back on it, right? So as I listened to what she was saying, right, and I fully understand, I get where she's coming from. Like, I actually have empathy for what she's saying from an emotional point of view, right? But right now, I want to stand on facts for a moment, right? You know, it's funny because we're seeing what's happening right now in this country, and, you know, people are quick to say things about, you know, due process, or that if you support this, you're supporting racism and all these things. But what I find odd is that the same people and the same organizations that are saying these things, when those brown bodies get replaced with black bodies, we start to hear things like, well, maybe you should pull yourself up by the bootstraps, or, well, you know, them people, we was kings, and, well, look at the crime statistics, who commits all the crime? When the fact is that committing and convictions are two different things. But you know what, let's stay on topic, right? So yeah, these are the same people who will tell you when things like Sean Bell or Brown or any of the other multitudes of unarmed individuals that have been unalived under police care. Some of them even shot in the back, as we've seen in the past. I mean, we all know what it is, right? But we're always told, well, if you just complied, that wouldn't happen, right? So my question is this then. If brown bodies are getting snatched up, and like they tell us, if you haven't done anything wrong, then you don't have anything to worry about. So, hand over your ID, identify yourself, ask a few questions. If no law has been committed, like you tell us, then you should be on your way. So, you see, complying is how you work your way through this. But when you're running from the police, or you have people following ICE around, doxing them, attacking them, we've even seen footage of actual people shooting fireworks at police helicopters in California, burning American flags as they walk through the streets and all kind of other shit. There have been attacks on civilians. We already know about all the fire bombings in LA that's been going on for decades in the black community by you know which community. So you know what it is, the Moyo Mayetes, Mejor la raza, oh, you just a nakata, you ain't got no culture. And it's funny because all the people that say those things, they came here to live in our communities and say these things and then tell us that we need to comply, or we have no culture, or we're lazy. And what's crazy is when you really think about it, the NAACP are the ones that attached immigration to the Civil Rights Act, and then made us, black Americans, those of us who've been here for generations, hundreds of years, be the forefront of that push. And we did it willingly, right? Why? Looking for alliance. But how did that turn out? We see how it turned out. And it is what it is. I'm not even tripping about it, right? But my thing is, for the first time in history, a lot of us as they say, foundational black Americans have decided to sit this out. And now they're still mad. And I don't understand why you're mad that we're minding our business. Because, you know, the lazy mayetes and moyos we're worried about our own things right now. Because we have to work on not being lazy. We have to work on raising our kids to be compliant with Slave Patrol, PD, across the nation so that they don't get unalived while they're unarmed. So, my suggestion to everyone is pull yourselves up by the bootstraps, comply with the law of the land, and everything will be all right. Because we've heard it for hundreds and hundreds of years. And ain't nobody gas like me to put me, myself, or anybody from my tribe on the front line for a cause of people who have told us for how many years the Negroes' fight is not our fight. Stay out of it. So now we're saying to you, the illegals' fight is not our fight. If you chose to walk across a border illegally, especially when there are people who have been going through the immigration process for years the right way, that just is dead ass wrong. And then on top of that, we the taxpayers are funding it. Take your time and look up how much it costs to house just one migrant in New York City in the hotels that they were doing. You're talking $10,000 a month, damn near, to house one illegal migrant. Haven't fed them, haven't provided medical care, anything of that nature. And then the children also have to go. These are all things that we, the taxpayers, are paying for. We, the taxpayers, are paying for. I don't remember voting to be a sanctuary city. And I'm not going to sit back and act like I didn't see all of the assaults on minor female children in New York City over the last 4 years. I'm not going to act like I didn't see an unaliving of a New York resident on the subway who was literally set ablaze as NYPD walked back and forth on the track, and the person that did it sat right there on the bench and watched. The Lake and Riley's, the sister down in Carolina, where the 6 minors, all of them came across that Darien Gap. All of them were texting afterwards, oh, we messed up this time, but we'll do it better next time. And she lost her life for a car that they didn't even get. These are the things that I see in my reality when I look out my window. And no one's going to gaslight me or make me feel any way because I chose my tribe. It is what it is. But yeah, y'all be safe out there. Because see, you're going to let a lot of these people trick you out of your spot. Because, you know, when we go on vacation or we move to other places, they always tell everyone else, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? So when you move somewhere, you're supposed to incorporate yourself into that culture. But what happens here for some reason is that we seem to always want to have open borders, not enforce any of our laws, and then we allow them to force their ways here. Because you can look this up if you want, but remember when the migrants, as AOC says, asylum seekers can commit no crime, that attacked NYPD and was let out with no bond? Remember that? Yeah, well, when they questioned them, their whole logic was, well, in Venezuela, this is just what we do. So it's normal at home, so to them they think they can come here and do that. And if you're okay with that, cool, I get it. But we all know if the roles are reversed, that would never happen. I want to see some of y'all go to Venezuela, Mexico, or anywhere else and burn that nation's flag as you set cars on fire and walk up and down the street and demand free money and citizenship. Oh yeah, remember, realize, transparency forces accountability. And remember, I said before, and I've shown y'all before, what Malcolm X actually said about liberal Democrats and their actual agenda. And we see it playing out now. You see what Obama just had to say about fathers and what their sons need, right? Why don't you Google and go back and see who actually wrote all of MLK's speeches? He was one of them same people that helped start the NAACP that used us to get on the front line and fight their agenda. And then when you see the agenda they're pushing now, right? I want you to take that exact agenda and look at all the list, right, of what they're pushing now, And then I want you to go Google genders of the Talmud. And then you'll see what's happening. But yeah, man. Eyes to the stars, keep the head on the swivel.